Yeah. So in the last class we have revised it till proxy. है ना? So remaining part will revise section 106 beta. Voting rights. Which rights? Voting rights. So why is voting rights in the company sector? All the decisions of the company should be taken by the shareholders of the company because they are the real owners of the company. Decisions taken by shareholders will decide the fate of the company. So that's why voting rights are given to shareholders of the company. So who has the right to vote in the general meeting of the company? Only equity shareholders has the right to vote in the general meeting of the company, but not the preference shareholders. Even preference shareholders has the right to vote in two cases. One is dividend is not paid for 2 years or more, and if the proposal directly affecting their rights personally. In these two cases, even preference shareholders has the right to vote. A member can exercise his voting right through show of hands or electronical means or by poll or by postal ballot. There are 4 ways are there to exercise the voting rights. First one. Why is voting rights beta? To decide the fate of the company. The voting rights of the shareholders will play the crucial role in the company. And who has right to vote? Only equity, but not the preference shareholders. Preference shareholders can also vote in the meeting if it is dividend is not paid 2 years or more. If it is directly affecting the personal rights of the preference shareholders, they have a right to vote. And voting rights. A member can exercise voting rights in 4 ways through show of hands. Second one is the electronically. Third one is the poll. Last one is the postal ballot. These are the 4 ways for the exercising of the voting rights of the member. Next, section 106. Restrictions on the voting rights of a member beta. This came in the exam 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 times in the exam beta. So generally every member has the right to vote in the general meeting of the company, but AOA of the company exam में आया बेटा. AOA of the company can restrict the voting rights of the member if non-payment of the calls, non-payment of any other sums. Face value 10, issue value 10, called up 10, paid up 10, but you are a debtor of the company. You are the debtor of the company and also member of the company. So company has the right to restrict the voting rights because non-payment of the other sums. Which sums beta? So company can restrict the voting rights of the member for non-payment of the calls, non-payment of the any other sums, and company can exercise the voting rights of the member when company exercises the right of lien. So in these 3 cases, company has the right to restrict the voting rights of the member. First one, non-payment of the calls, non-payment of the any other sums, and when company exercises the right of lien on the shares of the shareholder, company can exercise the restrictions on the voting rights of the member. Exam में है बेटा exception. Company shall not prohibit the any member from exercising the voting rights for any other ground other than the above 3. So company can restrict the voting rights only for 3 reasons: non-payment of the calls, non-payment of any other reasons, and when lien is exercised. Company should not restrict the voting rights of the member for any other reasons, like since you're doing the CA, since you're from Andhra Pradesh, since you're from Hyderabad, since you're tall, since you're short, since you're black, since you're fat, since you're thin. So company should not restrict the voting rights of the member. Then yes sir, no sir. So company shall not restrict the voting rights of the member for any other grounds other than the above 3 reasons. And whether member can use the all the votes in the same manner. For example, Pragya is a member of the company. Pragya is having the 10 votes in the poll. How many votes beta? 10 votes. Can she use 6 votes in favor, 4 votes against? Answer is yes. Member need not use all the votes in the same manner. He can use the few votes in favor, few votes in against also, as per section 106(3). 106(1). Company can restrict the voting rights for non-payment of the calls to non-payment of the any other sum due to company and when company exercises the right of lien. And company should not restrict the voting rights of the member for any other reasons, and member need not use all the votes in the same manner. Next. In case of the joint shareholders, the voting rights of the members is decided by the seniority. That is, the person whose name first appearing in the register of members will exercise the voting rights of the member. Decided by the seniority. That is, the person whose name first appearing in the register of members will exercise the voting rights. This one. Show of hands. Section 107 beta. Show of hands. Generally, chairman will decide all the proposals by show of hands only, unless poll is demanded, unless electronic means is demanded. Impliedly, the chairman will decide all the proposals by the show of hands only, unless poll or electronic means is demanded. And once declaration by show of hands is decided, once the result of the show of hands is decided, it is deemed to be resolution of the general meeting of the company. Then next. voting by the electronic means. Voting by the electronic means exam में 3-4 times आया बेटा, 4 to 5 times आया. Applicability बेटा, every listed company or company having more than 1,000 members should give the option to members to vote electronically mandatorily. Every company need not vote electronically. Private company need not give the option. But every listed company, bada company na beta, members spread over the India, maybe worldwide also. So every listed company having more than 1,000 should and must give the option to the members to vote electronically. But this section will not be applicable to Nidhi company and enterprise specified by SEBI. They need not give the option to vote electronically. But ये वाला exam में आता है, MCQ में भी आता. The listed company having more than 1,000 members should give the option to vote electronically. And notice of the meeting. So even you are authorized to vote electronically, company has sent the notice of the general meeting. The company has sent the notice of the meeting to members, directors, auditors through register post, speed post, electronically or courier. But in the real life, we will give the most of the cases we will give by the electronic means only. So every company which is listed having more than 1,000 members should give the voting dates through electronically. This is not applicable to Nidhi company and enterprise specified by the SEBI. And company has to give the notice of the meeting, speed post, courier, or electronically also, mostly electronically only. And placing of the notice. The same notice company has to keep the one copy in the website of the company also, or any website specified by the CG. Once again, listed company having 1,000 members has to provide the option to vote electronically. Not applicable to Nidhi company, enterprise specified by the SEBI, and company has to give the notice of the general meeting through register post, speed post, courier, or the electronically. And company has to keep the same copy in the website of the company also. And particulars of the notice. The notice of general meeting should contain a statement that we are providing the facility for the e-voting. Yes sir, no sir. Clear na? Members can vote either physically or members can vote either electronically. And if the exam C point, if being a member, if you're voting through electronically, can you attend the meeting again physically? Yes. Can you change your vote? No. So persons or members who are voting through electronically can also attend the meeting, but they are not supposed to change their voting dates. But ये वाला exam में notice shall contain the process of the e-voting. Process of the notice of general meeting should contain how to vote electronically. It should explain. It should contain the process of e-voting and time schedule when e-voting will start and when e-voting will end. Details of the login ID and password should be specified in the notice. How to derive the ID, how to derive the password should be specified in the notice of the general meeting. So it will contain the manner of e-voting. It will contain the time schedule when e-voting will start, when e-voting will end, and what is login ID and how to get the password for the login. All these things should be specified in the notice of the general meeting. Company has to publish the notice at least 21 days before the meeting in the local newspaper and also the English newspaper. Vernacular newspaper means local newspaper. So company has to give the notice in the website. Company has to give the notice in the newspaper 21 days before the meeting. One in the local newspaper, vernacular newspaper, and also the English newspaper. Member who was voted through electronically can also attend the meeting. Already we have discussed. And since company is giving the option to vote electronically, company has to create the grievance forum. Company has to appoint the grievance forum. Grievance means problems. So while trying to vote electronically, if you're unable to vote electronically because you're unable to get the password, unable to generate the password, unable to understand how to log in, so grievance forum should be there. That guy will helps you to log in electronically and to vote electronically. So the notice of the meeting should contain the name, designation, address, email ID, phone number of the person who is responsible to address all your grievances, problems related to e-voting. So if you're unable to log in, no, you can call to this person, you can make an email to this person. He will explain how to make the email, how to vote electronically, how to log in also. Done na beta? Next. Time for the e-voting beta, exam manage chance beta. So e-voting shall remain open for minimum of the 3 days. How many days beta? 3 days. MCQ may or otherwise you may ask in the 2 marks also. So the e-voting process, the portal website should remain open for minimum of the 3 days and it must be closed 1 day before the meeting 5 p.m. Done. So e-voting portal remain open for how many days, sir? 3 days. It must be blocked 5 p.m. one day before the general meeting. And option for the remote e-voting. Already we have discussed better. Member can come to a meeting physically. He can vote in the meeting physically. Member can also opt for the remote e-voting. Once member casts his resolution by e-voting, you should not supposed to change it, but you can attend the general meeting. And one day before the general meeting, that portal will be blocked. That website will be blocked. Yes or no, sir? When one day before the meeting. And for opening of the portal means website for e-voting. Opening of the e-voting portal, closing of the e-voting portal, and taking care of all the e-voting process, we have company has to appoint the scrutinizer. His scrutinizer may be a CA, CMA, a CS, or advocate in practice, and not in the employment of the company, who is a reputed person, so whom the company feels that he can able to conduct the e-voting process fair and transparent manner. So to take care of the e-voting, company has to appoint the scrutinizer. He may be CA, CMA, CS, or advocate in practice, not in the employment of the company, who must be reputed a person in the society, and where company feels that he can able to conduct the e-voting fair and transparent manner. And before appointing the scrutinizer, company should take his written consent to act as the scrutinizer. So company want to appoint Paranika as a scrutinizer. Before appointing Paranika as a scrutinizer, company should take the written consent of the Paranika to act as the scrutinizer. And at the end of the meeting, chairman of the meeting will count the physical votes and electronic votes. He will give the decision whether resolution is passed or not. And counting of the votes after conclusion of the e-voting process within 3 days, in the presence of the minimum independent two independent witnesses, the scrutinizer will unblock the website, unblock the portal. He will count the number of consent, number of dissent, how many members vote electronically, what is his folio number, how many votes he is having, how many consent he got, how many dissent he got. So he should be able to obtain the record, all these things. He can maintain the records. Scrutinizer can maintain these records electronically or the physically. Yes sir, no sir, clear na? But however, explanation he may ask in the exam, being a scrutinizer, being a chairman, he can have the data, how many people vote against and how many people give the favor, but he should not know, he is not supposed to have the access to whether a particular member give the consent or dissent for the particular proposal. It is always undisclosed. Yes sir, no, so it is always confidential. So scrutinizer has to maintain the records electronically or physically regarding the details of the voting, and the records of the e-voting should be under the custody of the scrutinizer only until it is given to the chairman of the meeting. Yes sir, no sir. So once resolution is passed by e-voting, it is deemed to be passed in the general meeting itself. This is all about the process of e-voting. Very, very lengthy concept and important concept from exam point of view also. Next, demand for the poll. In case of the poll, number of votes are based on the number of shares held by the member. When a member can demand for the poll, but generally chairman will decide all the proposals by show of hands. For example, company is having the 100 members. Out of this 100 members, 99 members are having one vote. That is 99 votes. 99 shareholders are there. Each one is having the one share only. So each one will have the one vote. 99 votes will be there. And another member is there, another member is Paranika, 100th member, and she is having the 1 lakh shares. So she will get the 1 lakh votes in poll. In show of hands, Paranika will get only one vote, but in poll she will get the 1 lakh votes. Yes sir, no sir. So the chairman is proposing to appoint Bhavana as the director of the company. These 99 people give the consent, but Paranika gave the dissent. Yes sir, no sir. Before Bhavana is appointed as the director of the company by show of hands, before it is resolved, so Paranika can ask for the poll. Chairman sir, stop it, let's go for the poll. So what is the moral of the story? A member can demand for the poll before result of the show of hands is declared. So if member is demanding for the poll, then chairman has to conduct the poll. Then provides that before declaration result on resolution by show of hands, a member can demand for the poll. A member can demand for the poll if he is having the 1/10 of the voting power or 5 lakhs worth of the shares. Company having the share capital, company not having the share capital, he must have 1/10 of the voting power. Pure guarantee company. So who can demand for the poll if he is having the 1/10 of the voting power or 5 lakhs worth of the shares? Company having share capital. Company not having share capital, 1/10 of the voting power. Yes sir, no sir. If any member is demanding for the poll, the chairman has to conduct the poll immediately or forthwith. Immediately or the forthwith for two reasons. That is election of the chairman, and adjournment of the meeting. So member is demanding for the postponement of the meeting, or member is demanding for the new chairman in the place of the old chairman. The chairman has to conduct the poll immediately. For any other reasons, the chairman has to conduct the poll within the 48 hours from demand. For other reasons. So Parnika is asking the poll for election of the new chairman. For adjournment of the meeting, the chairman has to conduct the poll immediately or forthwith. For any other reasons, we can conduct the meeting within the 48 hours from the demand. Then beta, a member can demand for the poll if he is having 1/10 of the voting power. How much beta? How much? And appointment of sufficient number of scrutinizer to take care of the poll. Also, company has to appoint the scrutinizer. He may be CMA, CA, or CS in practice, or advocate in practice. What the scrutinizer will do? Scrutinizer will maintain the proper records of the meeting. He will maintain the he has to conduct the polling properly. He has to maintain the proper records. He has to submit the records to chairman. Yes sir, no sir. He has to comply with section 109. Sir, duties of the scrutinizer. So to take care of the poll, to conduct the poll, we have to appoint the scrutinizer. He has to conduct, scrutinizer appointed by the company has to conduct the poll. He has to maintain the proper records. He has to submit the records to chairman. And scrutinizer will submit the report to chairman in form number MGT 13 within the 7 days from completion of the poll. And once decision is taken by poll, no, it is deemed to be decision of the meeting and binding on all the members. Next concept is the postal ballot. Which ballot beta? Section 110 beta. Postal ballot means it is a combination of two things. One is the postal department, other one is the ballot box. One is the postal department, that is the post office, other one is the ballot box. So members are not interested to come to general meeting due to their busy personal activities. So company said, I will come to your home in the form of the postcard. In the form of the company will send the two letters to member. Letter number 1 contain the face and back. On the letter number 1, on the face, company will write the address of the shareholder. On the back, company will write the proposed resolution. Beta. For this letter, company only will attach the letter number 2 with prepaid postage. That means the Ganitata. Company only will attach it. On the face of the second letter, it will contain the address of the company. On the back, two options will be there, consent or dissent. So being a member of the company, you can give your consent or dissent and send it back to company. So it has to reach the company within how many days beta? 30 days. In the company will appoint the CA, CMA or CS or advocate as a scrutinizer. You will maintain the postal ballot box. You will maintain the ballot box. But it will be locked. Then so when the consent or dissenting are going back to company, he will depot all the consent and dissent in this box. After expiry of 30 days, he will open the box. Scrutinizer will open the box in the presence of two witness. And he will count the number of consent and dissent. 90% consent came, for example, 10% dissent came. It is deemed to be passed on the general meeting of the company. Then company has to publish the same notice in the local newspaper, English newspaper, and also the website of the company. Then it is a combination of the ballot box plus postal department. This is the postal department, letter 1, letter 2, and this is the ballot box. But nowadays, postal ballot includes the e-voting. Electronic voting. They can send the email also, instead of sending the postal letter, they will send in the email. So applicability. This is applicable to both listed. This postal ballot is applicable to listed company and also the unlisted company. And this thing he is asking in the exam beta. Only this thing is important in the postal ballot. Company can use the postal ballot for the very important beta. A to H, very important. Company can use the postal ballot for the buyback of the shares, alteration of the objective class, alteration of articles, conversion of public company to private company, vice versa, issuing of the shares with the differential voting rights, changing the register office, and sale of the substantially whole of the undertaking, and election of the small shareholder directors. Only for these reasons, company can use the postal ballot. In the exam, he will give the 5 to 6 items. He will ask for which kind of the items we can use the postal ballot. Out of these 4 to 5 items, 1 2 items will from the this A to H. Done. The postal ballot is not applicable to 1% company. Company having up to 200 members. Up to 200 members. It is not applicable to ordinary business and any business in respect of which directors and auditors are right to listen, heard. So for OPC company up to 200 members, for ordinary business, the directors and auditors has right to be appointed, no, but right to be attended, no. So the concept of postal ballot will not be applicable because here we are not inviting anyone to meeting. We're sending only letters. So remaining process will remain same, but already we have discussed. For example, so it is alternative to the general meeting. Instead of calling the members to meeting, we are taking the decisions through post, and company has to give the explanatory statement also if there is any special business, and shareholder has to communicate within the how many days, beta 30 days. Company can send the post through register post or certificate of posting electronic mode also. Company has to advertise the same thing in the local newspaper and also the English newspaper. Company has to keep the self address second letter number 2. Company self address means company will address the company will write the company address. They'll keep the second letter to first letter. And remember, it also includes the electronic voting. Once upon a time before COVID especially, they send the letters, but nowadays only emails. And company has to keep the same notice in the website of the company also. Then the company has to appoint the scrutinizer. Scrutinizer will give the report to chairman. The resolution shall be deemed to be passed in the general meeting itself. Unable to follow the above rules and regulations, penalty will be there. Next, circulation of the members' resolution. Section 111. Circulation of the members' resolution. What is section 111 beta? Generally, who has the right to decide the agenda of the meeting? BOD. Generally, BOD of the company has the right to decide the agenda of the meeting. However, generally, BOD of the company will decide the agenda of the meeting. However, section 111 is giving the power to shareholder to propose the agenda of the meeting. A member can propose the agenda of the meeting if he is having the 1/10 of the voting power or the share capital. So, Pranika is a shareholder of the company. She wants to discuss something in the general meeting. So, she can propose her proposal to company if she is having the 1/10 of the voting power. So, she has to propose it to the company, and she should deposit the circulation expense of the same proposal. So, Pranika is sending the proposal to company regarding some discussion in the general meeting. So company send the same thing to all the shareholders. Then and Pranika should deposit the circulation expenses with the company. So Pranika has to deposit this letter, this application with the company 6 weeks before the meeting. In case if notice is required, 2 weeks before the meeting if notice is not required. Clear na? So member has the right to propose some of the resolution, some of the agenda. Clear na to the company. And member should deposit the circulation expenses with the company, and member should deposit this application with the company 6 weeks before the meeting if notice is required, 2 weeks before the meeting if notice is not required. And if that proposal is defamatory in the interest of the company, if this right is utilized by member for obtain the needless publicity. Which publicity? Detrimental in the interest of the company. So if a company feels that so she is misusing the power, company can approach the regional director. If regional director satisfies with the reason given by company, this proposal given by the Pranika need not be circulated to other members of the company. And since here company is approaching the RD, we have to pay the fees to RD. That fees also company can recover from the Pranika. This is section 111. So member has right to propose the agenda of the meeting. Member has right to propose the agenda of the meeting if she is having the 1/10 of the voting power or 1/10 of the share capital. And Pranika has deposited the 2 or more copies with the company. When we should deposit 60 weeks before the meeting if notice is required, and 2 weeks before the meeting if notice is not required, and Pranika has to keep with company the circulation expenses also. Yes or no, sir? And company has circulated the same notice to the other members also, and company feels that that power is abused by the shareholder for needless publicity or defamatory matter. So company can approach the regional director if the RD is satisfied that need not be circulated. What are the expenses incurred by the company for doing so? The company can recover from the member. Then so penalty for contravention beta. Next, section 111. If Government of India is a member of the company, if Government of India, President of India is sending any representative, he is deemed to be member of the company. Member attend the meeting in person. If Governor of the state is a member of the company, if Governor of state, that is Governor, is sending any representative, he is deemed to be attending the meeting in person, but not as a proxy. If President of India is sending any person, or Governor of the state is sending any person to attend the meeting on behalf of the President or Governor, that person, that representative is deemed to be member attending meeting in person, but not as a proxy. In the same way, representative of the corporations, if any artificial person is a member of the company, if artificial person is sending any representative, such representative is deemed to be member attending meeting in person, but not as a proxy. Next, voting. Types of voting in the types of resolutions in the general meeting. Beta, there are two types of resolution, three types of resolutions will be there in the general meeting. First one is the ordinary, second one is the special, third one is the resolution requiring special notice. First, what is the ordinary resolution? Beta, first resolution. Resolution means formal decision making in the organization. What is resolution? Formal decision making. Once decision is resolved, it is applicable to everyone in the company. So this question was asked so many times in the exams. First one, andro usme pehla wala, what is the ordinary resolution? Votes cast in favor should be more than the votes cast against. 50 plus. 50 means tie, equality. Over means 50 plus. Out of the 100 members, 50 plus has to approve the proposal. Usko bolte hai ordinary resolution. Generally, it doesn't require any explanatory statement. And votes cast in favor should be 3 times more than the votes cast against. That is 75 or more than 75. Usko bolte hai special resolution. Out of 100, 75 or more than 75% of the people has to approve the proposal. Generally, it requires the explanatory statement also. Generally, we will use the special resolution for the special business. Which business? And next one is the resolution requiring the special notice. It is nothing but ordinary resolution plus special notice. Nothing but OR plus a special notice. Ordinary resolution plus a special notice. It is called as the OR because it is applicable for the auditors and the directors. This section 111 will be applicable. 115 will be applicable. Retiring auditor should not be reappointed, or proposing a auditor other than the retiring auditor. Retiring director should not be reappointed, or proposing a director other than the retiring director. So for appointment of director and appointment of auditor, we require the OR. That's why it is OR plus a special notice. So company will give to shareholders 21 clear days notice for general meeting. Along with the notice, company will give the P&L, balance sheet, CFS, changes in equity, director's report, audit reports, and proxy form. If any member who is not happy with the performance of the company, any member not happy with the performance of the company, he can give the special notice to company. Special notice to company if he is having the 1/10 of 1% of the voting power, not 1/10, 1% of the voting power, or 5 lakhs worth of the shares. Clear, beta? So company to shareholder 21 clear days notice. So member reading the notice, he is not happy with the performance of the company, then member to company, he can give the special notice regarding the non-appointment of existing auditors, non-appointment of the existing directors, proposing new people as director and auditor. This notice should be submitted to company 14 clear days before the meeting, or even 3 months before the meeting. Then so company will forward the same notice to all other shareholders at least 7 days before the meeting. Company to other shareholders and aggrieved director and aggrieved auditor also. Company will forward the same notice to other members, directors and auditors before 7 days before the meeting. If it is not possible, advertisement in the newspaper also. Yes or no, sir? So any director or any auditor agreed by the proposal made by the members, so he can give the representation. He can demand, he can ask the company to circulate this representation to all the members. Not possible, read in the general meeting of the company. If the representation made by director and auditor is defamatory in the interest of the company, company can approach the NCLT. If NCLT satisfies, that representation made by the director and auditor should not be read at the general meeting and it not be circulated to members. Then beta, this concept was asked so many times in the exam. Beta, resolution requiring the special notice, section 115. If you are passing any resolutions in the adjourned meeting, it is applicable from the date of the adjourned meeting only, but not from the original meeting. For example, original meeting is on the 15th July 26, and adjourned meeting is on the original meeting is on the 15th, and adjourned meeting is on the, for example, 25 June 26. Here if you are taking a decision, no, it is applicable from the this date only. It is deemed to be passed on the this date, but not on the this date. So decisions passed on, the resolutions passed on the adjourned meeting is deemed to be passed on the date of adjourned meeting only, but not from the prior date. And resolutions and agreements to be filed with the ROC. So every company has to file section 117 beta, section 117 summary I have written here. Look beta. So every resolution, every agreement, every explanatory statement should be filed with the ROC within the 30 days. Every resolution, every agreement, every explanatory statement should be filed with the ROC 30 days before the meet, 30 days from the resolution. Otherwise, penalty for company 10,000 rupees plus 1,100 rupees per day, subject to maximum of the 2 lakhs, and officers 10,000 rupees plus 1,000 rupees per day, subject to 100,000. 100 rupees per day, subject to maximum of the 50 lakhs. And which kind of resolutions we have to file with ROC? Special resolution, unanimous resolution agreed by all the shareholders, board resolution for appointment of directors, and class meeting resolutions should be filed with the ROC. Even for resolution for winding up of the company should be filed with the ROC. And but this section will not be applicable. Resolutions need not be filed with ROC if resolution is passed by the banking company, NBFC, HFC in the ordinary course of business. Then next minutes we have not completed. Then so this remaining part will revise in the next class. Have a great time. Enjoy the day. Prepare well. AC signing off. Take care.